What is it like right now with all these talks of, oh, suddenly we're awash with talent and people that can be hired? Is that true?
Well, first off, Caroline, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm excited to talk about talent with you. So, what is the state of the talent market that we're in? I like to think of it as quality is in, quantity is out. If you think back to the last couple of years, the time was coined the term the Great Resignation, because we had never seen so many executives making changes across the ecosystem as we previously had. But what no one was talking about was the quality of those opportunities. And so what we're seeing right now, given the constraint on capital, if a startup is hiring an executive, it's a really well thought out role because it's viewed as something that's going to help change the course of the business.
What are those executives looking for? Because when perhaps they're coming from one of these big tech giants, the Amazons, the Metas, who are letting go of really talented staff, but they're used to getting a lot of money. What do they therefore need to be offered by a startup that perhaps doesn't have as deep of pockets from a cash perspective?
Well, what we're seeing across the industry right now is that executives who previously had not engaged in opportunities are. And those executives are both from, companies where they've been impacted by layoffs and those that haven't. To your question on the compensation piece, compensation has started to plateau for a bit, but the best executives are still going for a premium.
What about equity? Is that something that they're looking into as the way in which they can be recompensed? Because, of course, valuations have been cut.
The importance of equity is to really view it as kind of what is the total ownership that you're going to have within a company versus what is the value given the flexibility and change in valuations right now.
Okay, so what ways in which are CEOs and companies therefore having to lock in executives? Are they having to say, look, we'll give you a bigger chunk of equity as the valuation has fallen, and they're doing clever ways in which they can make sure that someone's going to be dedicated to the growth of their business, even if perhaps they can't offer them a nice check on a monthly basis in terms of actually monetary value?
Yeah, it's happening across the board, and it's so company by company dependent. But the advice that I give founders is what's on top of mind for executives right now when they're talking to a company is they want to know some of the tougher questions up front. So I give founders the advice of when you have that first, second conversation with an executive, talk about what is the runway of your business? What's working really well? Why do you want to bring this executive in to help change the course of the company? And all of that kind of helps feed what are going to be the offer terms later on in the process.
What about a focus on diversity? Because there was a lot of talk and focus on that. Has there been much walk, much action in this current environment?
Diversity is still on top of mind for companies. I'm working on an executive search right now. It's a CMO search in one of our portfolio companies. And the candidates are 60% women, 40% men. And of that group, 20% are from underrepresented minorities.
What about outside the world of marketing, though?
Outside the world of marketing, yeah, you see it across the board. It's still on top of mind for people. It could be a little company by company dependent, but it's still a topic of focus.